Welcome into another video where we're going through and testing all of the weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3 to see how valuable these weapons are for us to be using inside of our Zombies games. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you like everything Call of Duty Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss out any future uploads. As well, down below in the description, you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stream a ton of custom zombies and other zombie-related games, and generally have a ton of fun hanging out there. So hope to see you guys there. Now, in today's video, we're going to dive into Season 5, as that is coming out tomorrow. So before we get into which weapon we're going to cover in today's review video, let's dive into Season 5 and what is coming. So I'm super excited for Season 5, as we looks like we have a ton of content on the roadmap, which is very exciting. We've got 4 new weapons, which I'm really eager to dive in and test out, as well as an absolutely insane WWE SummerSlam event where all the eliminations have to be done via a WWE finisher. So that sounds like a super crazy fun mode to play. Let me know what your thoughts are on that down below. As well, in season, we've got this image in the roadmap that says classified. I'm hoping this is something zombie related, but I'm not sure. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are and what that might be down in the comments section below. And sadly, it looks like this is going to be our final update for MW3 Zombies. And all of the Zombies content is slated to release in season. So what is the content that is coming to us in season? We've got brand new schematics, a disciple bottle, grenade bandolier, and a stash increase up to 30 in your stash through a schematic. So this is going to be available for us to unlock inside of the new Season 5 Reloaded Dark Aether. Now, of those 3 new schematics, for me, the stash size and the grenade one is probably my 2 favorites. I'm unsure about the disciple. I hope it's going to be able to revive us. It's funny, though, I did mention during Season 4 that I would love to see a friendly disciple being added to the game, as I feel like they look really cool and it would just be something visually that would be really awesome to see. And here we are, Season 5 Reloaded, we are getting a friendly disciple. So that is truly, truly awesome to see, and I can't believe that they added that and listened to my suggestion. So thank you very much, Call of Duty and Activision. Now, in today's video, we're going to be going through an MW2 SMG and a very specific build for the Fennec 45. So we're going to be taking that through all 3 tiers today, taking on bounty contracts to see how viable this SMG is for us to be using inside of our Zombies games. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a really good feel for how the SMG Fennec 45 performs inside of the Zombies game mode, and whether or not at the end of the video, this weapon is one that's going to be a viable option for you to be using inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. Also, before we dive into things, one quick thing, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as when we hit 4,000 subscribers, it will unlock my 3rd Black Ops 6 giveaway on the channel, and I could not be more excited to be able to do this. And it is only available because of the unbelievable support of all of you to the channel, so thank you so very much. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the Fennec 45 review video today. Welcome into another video in my series where we're testing all the weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today brings us to an MW2 weapon, and this was a viewer suggestion from inside of the Zhorde community Discord. So if you're looking to join and a small community of growing players that are all there willing to help each other out, then the link for that is down in the description below. As well, don't worry, in the video I have the build that I was given for the Fennec 45, so you've got you covered there. You don't have to worry about that. Now, when we spawn in and do weapon testing videos, I like to put on all of my perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger whatsoever. So I'm not running any ammo mods currently, I'm not running any tools, and I'm not running any pack-a-punch. One of the perks I do use on every single match as a mouse and keyboard player, as I like the extra critical damage it provides, is Deadshot Daiquiri. So there is that, and for extras today, we do have golden armor plates and mags of folding for later. So we went and grabbed our first bounty contract of the day, and we take on our bounty contracts, the first one of the day, at white rarity, with absolutely no additions to the weapon whatsoever. So just the base Fennec 45 with the build I was given, and we go and see and how this performs against a bounty contract inside of tier 1. Now, this weapon, I have to say, holy smokes, does the Fennec shoot fast. This thing goes through ammo at an incredible rate of fire, which was incredible to see. But definitely a viable option. I was definitely impressed with how strong it was. I was definitely impressed with how good it feels to use this. It's an SMG, but it definitely feels like I've got, you know, a little bit extra movement speed running this. So after completing our first bounty contract of the day, I was kind of eager to up the damage output on this SMG, so we took it off to visit Pack-a-Punch Machine inside of tier 1. And if for those of you wanting to keep your camo on your weapons for your runs, visit a Pack-a-Punch Machine before you use a PAP crystal, or use the Pack-a-Punch Machine and melee it. That will keep your camo on your weapon for the rest of your run. Unless you go off to the Dark Aether or the Unstable Rift, you lose your camos in there and are given the Pack-a-Punch camo level you're at. Just a heads up for that. So we picked up our second bounty of the day inside tier 2, taking that on at white rarity, only Pack-a-Punched, and that Mangler did not stand a chance. Like, that was a really, really easy contract. I was feeling really confident with this weapon and with this build right now. So I was kind of eager to move on, and I kind of wanted to push into tier 2 straight away and grab a bounty contract, but I did want to keep things, you know, consistent on the channel. So the last thing we did was threw on my legendary tool and my ammo mod and went and instant deleted, like I expected, our last bounty contract inside of tier 1, and that mimic just got eviscerated by the end of our barrel. It was awesome to see. I was feeling really, really good using this gun. Like I said, the movement speed is definitely something I noticed. Like, I was moving really quickly when I had this weapon out, so that was definitely an awesome plus, and something to take note of. If you like moving quickly, I feel like this one is definitely going to be up your alley. And I also feel like there is a little bit of room to move on the build, to maybe add a little bit more mobility to the build. So definitely stick through the video to find out that. But you can see here, I mean, we're taking on a bounty contract now inside of tier 2. I'm still at pack 1, legendary with Shatter Blast, and that Mangler did not stand a chance at all. Being only pack 1 inside of tier 2, I was really impressed with this, So the next thing to do was to increase the damage output yet again and head off and visit Pack-a-Punch inside of tier 2. And then see if we could track down another bounty contract inside tier 2 with the SMG up for damage output to pack level 2 with legendary and Shatter Blast. So we went and grabbed our next bounty contract inside tier 2, which was a mimic. And this was basically just one magazine to eliminate our bounty in tier 2. And I basically just stood and shot. So truly, truly awesome. Truly a viable weapon to be using inside of our games. Definitely think so at this point. So the last thing to do was to head into tier 3, go visit the Wonder Fizz machine like I always do when I drop into tier 3, grab the rest of my perks before we ventured off in to see how this SMG handles, you know, the highest threat level zone in the map, being tier 3. So grabbed the last perk that I needed. I got really quite lucky in my contracts on the way to tier 3 today and managed to pick up all of my perks except for Tombstone. Now I come here, as you know, and try and replenish the legendary tool and PAP 3 crystal I bring in on my runs by completing this ritual. However, this one had been completed, and usually I find if this ritual has been completed, the rest of them have also been done. So I wasn't about to go and try and track down the other rituals, but I did want to take this opportunity right here inside of tier 3 to show you just how viable this is at pack 2 legendary inside of tier 3. And that armored zombie, he went off when I turned him. So here's another example of crowd control, much more larger crowd inside of tier 3. I wanted to switch the attack stance to show you, and no. A player came in and literally mowed down my entire horde I had rounded up to show you guys crowd control at pack 2. And then I ran over an insta-kill, so amazing. I ended up running around and grabbing another horde inside of tier 2 and wanted to continue to show you just how, or tier 3, sorry. I wanted to show you how viable this is at pack 2. So I wanted to finish up showing you the tack stance and just how viable it is in tack stance. So we took the time, grabbed another horde, and I ran around and showed you guys that. I definitely feel like this is viable at pack 2 inside of tier 3. So the next thing to do on my checklist was to throw on the pack 3 crystal I bring in and go and visit Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches. Except for one problem. Zhorde was not complying today. Where are you, George? Where'd you go? I don't know where he went. I think maybe he got into some dark ether psychedelics. Somebody had mentioned that in the comments on my last video, and that was actually had me laughing. So thank you for that. That was a great comment to see. You might be onto something for sure. So then we picked up our bounty contract, and I wanted to show you there's a standard HVT right here. We are pack 3 legendary with Shatterblast on, and this Fennec 45 just melted just about everything in front of me. So we made it up to our bounty contract inside of tier 3, and this was Mimic we had picked up. We're legendary, like I said, pack 3, taking on our bounty. And I noticed right up here as I was heading up this way, just when I climbed over this edge, that there was a team in the area doing the escort contract. And so I wasn't sure if my bounty was going to, you know, track me or head over to the escort contract. And yeah, my bounty went over to the escort contract. I was definitely able to handle the zombies that came my way during this time, as everything went over towards the escort contract. I did throw a decoy over there to try and get some of the riffraff off me, as I was hoping my bounty was going to come over this way. But no such luck. He went over and was attracted to the escort and all of the crowd that was over there. So they actually finished my bounty contract for me, which was awesome. So thank you. I appreciate that. So we made it over and checked our somewhat free loot inside of tier 3, which wasn't anything I needed, but it was definitely nice to see some players helping out and take out another contract. So then I wanted to grab another bounty, as I was really trying to grab us a Mega Abomination. As you know, I love to show us that. A little bit of panic set in here, trying to get out the window, as it wouldn't break when I first jumped into it. And there was a dog there. Not, you know, the best situation. Had a little bit of panic showing up, and then I was off to grab the bounty, and I got close, and of course he self-completed himself. So I figured, okay, you know what, we'll just make it over here. We'll grab the free loot from completing this bounty contract. But the amount of riffraff that showed up while I got to this reward rift was absolutely insane. I wasn't quite sure what was going on right here. I was like, okay, we're doing fine. We're melting the zombies. Everything's going all right. And then I turned here, and they started coming up from the bottom. They started dropping down. They were in here. A Mimic appeared. I got swarmed and just absolutely destroyed, just trying to get to the reward rift of my bounty that had completed itself. And then I couldn't find a path, like, to even get up and like sprint out of the area. The zombies were just haphazardly wandering around. It was really strange. So I got up, managed to, you know, get some separation and deal with the zombies in the area. Then we had a mangler show up. Like, this was the craziest time trying to get into a reward rift for a bounty contract that I hadn't even put a bullet into to shoot. It was just completed itself. So I was kind of chuckling here. I was like, how much is it going to take to get into my free reward rift? This is kind of comedy right now. I didn't know what was going on. I thought when I came back down here there might have been more. I wasn't sure where the mangler had disappeared to, unless my energy mine had got him. But we managed to get into the reward rift, which had a Casimir, which was nice, and then Tombstone, which I'd already bought. So at this point, there wasn't really much left to test, so I threw on Mags of Holding, and then there was a team that was trying to get people to join them for an Elder Dark Aether run, and so I asked them, you know, did you have room for a solo player? I wasn't sure if they would answer me, so I grabbed a bounty contract, and when I grabbed that bounty contract, I didn't even notice on my way to it, but they replied and said, yeah, come to F4. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's try something a little bit different. We'll join a random team, and we'll head off to the Dark Aether and see how this goes. So I canceled my contract and pinged the F4 location where they said to meet, and made my way over there to see if I could meet up with my new teammates and, you know, make my way off to the Dark Aether. However, I got to F4 and there was nobody there. So I thought, okay, maybe they went over to the Dark Aether portal, because they said they were doing Season 1. I didn't see anybody there, so I looked on the TAC map and I saw there was a whole bunch of players in Old Town. And so I asked them, are you guys all in Old Town? And then, you know, slowly started making my way over to Old Town so that we could, you know, connect and squad up for the Dark Aether run. And as I was waiting for them to answer, I figured, you know what, I'll just make my way over there. That's probably them. They did answer and said that was them. So we made our way over to Old Town to try and meet up with our new teammates for this Season 1 Dark Aether run. So I got over to them all over here at where they were located, and there was a bit of confusion trying to join the squad. Asked me to join. I wasn't sure if this was the player that was in the squad or not, so I kind of denied that one and then requested to join and was able to join. So I think I probably screwed that up, to be honest. I probably should have just accepted the invite. Either way, we got into the squad. I was happy to see that, so here we are. Joined the squad. We got a team of 6. I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. We got a team of 6. We're going to go off to the Dark Aether. We're going to run a couple contracts before that. Sounds good. So we figured we did a bunch of contracts. I think it was 2 or 3. And then it was time to ping the buy station so we could grab our gear before going into the Dark Aether. So I grabbed a few more self-revives as I wasn't too sure. And then we were doing another bounty contract near the end. Our player with the Scorcher got there nice and quick. I got over there second, was able to help them finish off this Mimic bounty contract before it wrecked our friendly dog, because I definitely wanted to have the dog with us. And then it was off to the Dark Aether for Season 1. We're going to be doing the Elder run as a team of 6, so I was pretty excited about that. It's always nice to go into the Season 1 Dark Aether Elder run with a team of 6. One of my favorite things to do. It's definitely tons of fun to have a team of 6 in here and go into the Dark Aether. I just enjoy it. It's chaos. There's a lot of players around. Plus, you know, the opportunity is definitely there for you to be able to be revived if you've got 6 people inside the Dark Aether. So it's definitely something I like to do. And then we landed, and where did everybody go? I don't know what happened, but me and the other player here were the only ones that actually made it into the Dark Aether. Now, at this point, I wasn't even sure if we were going to be able to complete anything, as I was equipped for a weapon review video. I was not equipped for a Dark Aether run, especially an Elder Dark Aether run inside of Season 1. I had no VR11 to ensure the escort contract was complete. I did not have enough Casimir grenades with me to do the Aether reactors. So I was definitely intrigued, and you know, the heart was pounding right here. What are we gonna do? I don't know the player skill level I'm with. I don't know how they're gonna handle it, if they've been in here before and they know exactly what they're doing. I wasn't sure at this point. I had a feeling that they weren't too familiar in here, as they were following me, but not exactly the quickest route. So I wasn't sure if they'd been in here before or what was going on. The Mega Abomination got them down. I was going to go get them up, but I saw them using a self-revive. And in that, we are in the Elder Dark Aether. Contracts for me are a priority. If you're in here, you're definitely here to complete the contracts. So that's why it's important to bring self-revives in so you can get yourself up. We put a decoy out at our first Aether reactor, and we were able to complete that one with just one decoy, which was awesome. And then, silly me, I went the absolute wrong way for the next Aether reactor. If I turn the other way, it's definitely much faster and a much more straightforward route. And then here I could tell there was no way I was getting in there. I tried to grab onto this edge here. That worked out. This one I tried to grab. It wouldn't mantle for me, so I ended up falling down. At this point, I was like, oh my goodness, this run is going south really fast. My teammate that had come in with me had now suffered their second down inside of the Dark Aether and used his second self, or their second self revive, to get themselves up. And then I noticed they'd taken their third down right there, and at this point I was kind of concerned about completing, you know, any of the contracts. At this point I kind of felt like, okay, if we can knock out this one contract and then get out of here, I think in this situation I would be calling this a win. And then I used my energy mine to try and complete this one, but I had a Mimic come over and grab me, and the phone didn't pick up, so I wasn't able to actually activate that Aether reactor. So we had to do a little loopity-loo and separate myself from the Horde and try and get some space so that I could get that Aether reactor activated. Also, at the same time, I was trying really hard to try and get my energy mine energized and filled so that I could use that to complete it. I tried to just go for it right here. Mr. Mangler was having none of that and totally smacked me out of it. So I got up and I noticed my teammate was definitely struggling inside of the tier Dark Aether here. Issue was stuck on the stairs, which is definitely not a good place to be. If there's a bunch of zombies with you, that is not going to be a very bueno situation. Then I turned to Mangler and figured I'd take an opportunity because turned Manglers are just absolute tanks. And took it down, got absolutely swarmed, but I was able to complete the second Aether reactor. So at this point I was feeling, you know, a little bit okay. I knew I still had, I think, a self-revive or 2 to burn. I wanted to double check my inventory right there. I had 2 self-revives to burn. Our player teammate was down again, but again, like I said, my priority was to try and get these contracts done. We are in the Elder. I definitely wanted to try and get some loot for sure out of this. So I definitely made it over, and we managed to finish off the last Aether reactor right there. And you can see this SMG definitely performs pretty well inside of the Dark Aether, I have to say. It handles things. We got golden armor plates out of that, which was pretty nice. I was hoping that was an actual dog bone, but it was the dog bone schematic. And then I went to try and revive our player as, you know, they're down in the Dark Aether. They burned through a bunch of self-revives. I know they don't want to just die and hope, you know, like I don't want to leave them dead here and hope that they have tombstone. I feel like, you know, if I can get them up and we can get to an exfil at this point, then I would feel like this is definitely going to be, you know, a turn of events. It's supposed to be a 6-man team. Obviously would have run a much better run had everybody managed to get into the Dark Aether. I don't know if they left the game or if they just disconnected. I'm not sure what happened there, but at this point I was now determined to get my teammate up and get us to an exfil. That was my main goal right now, so I just booked it straight to my teammate. We were taking some hits here. I was keeping an eye on my armor and my health, made sure I got our teammate up, and then we booked it out of here to an exfil. Just because it was just going south really quickly. There wasn't really much point in sticking around and just getting wrecked some more. But that's it. I definitely feel like the Fennec 45 is definitely going to be a viable option for all of us to be using inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. So pretty good run overall. I think I was pretty happy with the ability to get myself and my teammate out of the Season 1 Dark Aether. After completing 1 contract, I managed to leave with golden armor plates, which isn't too bad. Now, the weapon build that I was given for today's run is right here on screen, so if you guys want to make any weapon changes to the build, let's work together down in the comments section and make that happen. And the camo that I was using on today's run is inside of your all camos. It is under the events, and it is the one from the DNA event is what it is. And the blueprint I was using is, I'll show you guys right here. It is in your SMGs. If you go over to the Fennec 45, you will see the blueprint that I was running for today. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one.